Freestyle Enduro 101. Hey, I've got another bike here I'm going to give you a review on. It's a Yamaha TW200. It's a 2014 model, and my wife actually bought this bike just to kind of get back into motorcycling, you know, because it had a lower seat height and the wide tires on it. It's a 200, so you know, she thought this would be a good bike for her to learn on. Not really learn, but just get back into it. You know, it had this good low seat height, and the seat's real comfortable on it too. But anyhow, she hasn't been riding it much anymore, so I've been riding it just to keep it lubricated and everything, and just to keep it started up, and, you know, keep the battery charged. But anyhow, what I found out about this bike is so capable. I think a lot of people that buy these bigger dual sports, even the adventure bikes, would be, you know, way better served to get this Yamaha TW200, because the bike is so capable. The bike can do just about anything. I mean, you know, you can't take it out on a motocross track or anything, but it goes down the interstate, goes off-road, you know, goes down single track, gravel roads. It does excellent on because it's got these wider tires on it. The rear tires are really a lot wider, and just gives you a lot more stability, and that's what she liked about it. But I just don't think this bike really gets the credit it's due. You know, I think this bike is kind of labeled the bike you put on the back of your motorhome and you take it on vacation with you, and that's pretty much it. But listen, this bike, it is really surprised me. I mean, it'll go down the interstate. You know, it'll cruise at 55 miles an hour, and it's just a 200, but it's geared right to do it. You know, it'll reach 70 miles per hour, but you know, I wouldn't recommend it. But it will reach 70 miles an hour. But keep in mind, I was on a perfectly flat ground with maybe just a little bit of a tailwind on me, but it did it. But realistically, you know, it will cruise at 55, and you know, that's plenty fast, I think, for anybody on a motorcycle. But these are really nice bikes. They're not real expensive. They get real good fuel economy. The maintenance on them is minimal, and I'll tell you, they're built like a Sherman tank. These things are so tough. Everything just on it just seems like it's overbuilt, and you know, it might make it a little bit heavier than it probably could be as a 200, but that's a good thing. It's really helped it out. I've done a few things to the bike. I put these hand guards on it. I put those on for her just to keep the hands from hitting her, the wind from hitting her hands and getting so cold, because we were riding on some cooler days. And I put these bar risers on it. You can see right there, these bar risers. They helped out a lot to reposition the bars. The bars are like a little bit low on the bike. So these brought the bars up, and I was able to move them forward, and that made a huge difference. Let's see if I can get the name of them here on video. I don't know if you can see that. But anyhow, if you can see that on video, that's the name of them. I bought them off eBay, you know, once again. You know, they weren't real expensive versus the ones that are, look like they're just like them and don't even look as good, and they're like 3 or 4 times as much. But anyhow, I put these wider foot pegs on it. One thing, the foot pegs they put on this thing are just little bitty dinky things, and they'll dig into the bottom of your feet. So, you know, I put those on it, and I do actually have a windscreen for the motorcycle, but I don't have that on the bike right now because, you know, I do a little bit off-roading with it, and I just didn't want to get it all scratched up. But I do have one of those, and it's a pretty tall windscreen. It keeps it off your chest really good. But anyhow, enough talking about it. I guess what I'll do is I'll, you know, ride the bike in some different areas so you can see how it does. I'll get it out on the interstate, get it up to 55 miles an hour, so you can see that it will cruise at that, still pull the hills just fine. It's got plenty of power. So so let's get it started up, and let's get this review going. Anyway, the bike's real smooth because it's got a counterbalanced engine. adjust this camera a little bit so y'all get a better picture of the motorcycle too. Okay, here we go. So anyhow, the bike runs real smooth. It's a counterbalanced engine. So even though you may be revving it, it's really not. It's not like the motor's going to blow up or anything. The motor's doing just fine. At 55 miles an hour, yeah, it's making some noise, but it's really not. It's not really laboring the engine like you would think it would be. It's just kind of cruising along. That counterbalanced engine just really helps it out a lot. So I'll get it up to 55 here. Just kind of give you an idea. I'm just going easy with it. The bike's running along pretty smooth when you're doing that, and it's got pretty good get up and go too. You would think that, you know, it just being a 200, it would be a dog. It just couldn't hardly get out of its own way, but you know, it can. It does really good. Now, if you're out on the interstate, you're doing 55. You know, yeah, if you pin it, it's not going to just take off and go. It will gain speed, but probably not as fast as you want it to if you're used to a bigger bike. But hey, this bike, you know, it gets the job done. It you know, goes around town, gravel roads. It just does everything I've asked it to do. And you know, a lot of those bigger bikes that we all end up buying, you know, bigger dual sports and adventure bikes, you know, unless you're going across country, it's kind of a waste. This bike here, it's just simple. You know, they're inexpensive, hardly no maintenance to it, and the thing seems like it's just, you know, built to run forever. Let's see if I can find a little spot to take her off road for you here, so I can show you, show you how it does. Let's take a look here. Here we go. With these wider tires, it just has so much grip. And it's so comfortable with these wider tires. Over logs and stuff good. I mean, the bike just is a really excellent bike for everything. I know that this bike, I believe, originally came out in 1987, so it's virtually unchanged. I believe in 2001 they took this bike and they put electric start on it, and then they put a front disc brake. But since then, that's it. That's all they've done to this bike. You know, since 1987. So there's actually, I believe there's a documentary out where a couple people took these up to the North Pole. I believe it was the North Pole they took it, and never had any problem starting the bikes in the really cold temperatures. And so, I mean, listen, if the bike can survive that, I would say the bike can pretty much survive anything. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the camera set up, and I'm going to give everyone just some footage of me riding through the trails and up some hills, so you can see how the bike does. I mean, if you're on the fence about getting one of these, and especially if you're new, I would say get it. I would say this would be the perfect bike for you to get as a beginner's bike, and you're not going to outgrow the bike anytime soon. I mean, you're really never going to outgrow the bike. I know people say you're going to outgrow the bike. You got to put the line at the top. Get around this. But you're going to outgrow the bike. I think people just need to learn to twist the throttle a little bit harder to get going. I think that's one of the issues is people, they're always riding 1/4 half throttle, and then when it doesn't have enough power for them, they just give up on it. And they're like, well, I guess I need to get another bike. I look at it this way. I think you need just need to twist that throttle a little bit harder. And this bike's made to run. I mean, it's like I said, it's got a counterbalanced engine, so see, it'll dice through these woods. I'm telling you, see, I'm going over these trees and stuff and logs, just like a tank. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get set up here so I get some views of the bike, of going through the woods so y'all can see it in action. Okay, so I'm fixing to get it out here on the interstate and let you see how quickly it'll get up to speed and on the on-ramp here. Just to show you that the bike's not a slouch and how good it cruises at 55 miles per hour on the interstate. So we're fixing to cruise down a gravel road here. I'm just going to show you how stable this Yamaha TW200 is on the gravel with these wider tires. Another thing with this Yamaha TW200 is it's got these wider tires, so it gives you more cushion. This is a pretty rough gravel road. It's got a lot of washout on it. You probably can't see on camera, but these wider tires really help soak it up. Helps the suspension deal with it. But I'm cruising along here, 30 miles an hour, and no problems at all. It's so steady. In fact, it's way more steady than any other motorcycle would be on this gravel. Going these turns, and it doesn't feel like it's going to wash out on you. As much as if it would on a regular motorcycle. This bike will do just about anything you want it to do. No, I wouldn't recommend taking it out on a motocross track and doing big jumps and going through a bunch of loops. But everything else, tight single track, like you saw me riding on back there, that really wasn't even tight single track. That was just some trails I was making. I was just riding through the woods. You can see the bike does really good. And you can really pick up some speed going through the woods, darting in between the trees and stuff, because, these wider tires, they give you so much grip and so much more stability. And especially if you're new to riding, this bike will give you so much more confidence when you're doing stuff like that off-road. You'll be more likely to go right off-road, and not be as intimidated on this bike. It's got the be on any other bike. You know, if you're a newcomer or even if you're a seasoned rider, either way you're going to have fun on this motorcycle. Okay everyone, I hope you got a chance to see what all this bike can do, and they give you a good idea of, you know, is this the type of bike that you want, and is this all the bike that you need? More times than not, this is really just all the bike that you're going to need to do the type of riding that most people do day to day. If you're going to be going cross country, yeah, you're going to probably need a big cruiser bike, just a lot bigger bike to get down the interstate. But anyhow, as you saw, this bike can cruise down the interstate at 55 very comfortably. It does gravel roads good, it does off-road good. It's just the Swiss Army knife of motorcycles. I really do believe that. My son and I, we went on a ride around Christmas. We just had a freakish warm day after Christmas this year. And we went for a ride, and I brought my Honda XR 650L along, and I brought this TW200. And I figured he was going to want to ride the Honda XR 650L all day long, but he got off the Honda XR 650 and he got on this TW200, you know, to try it out. And he didn't get off of it the rest of the day. He thought this was so comfortable. And keep in mind, he came off of a Yamaha FZ08 is what he owns and rides a lot where he lives. But anyhow, so that just goes to show you, seasoned riders can get on this bike and feel way more comfortable than they will on any of their other bikes and feel good about riding the bike all day long. So I hope this review gave everybody, you know, some good information on this motorcycle. I hope it helps you to make a lot better decision and maybe not make the mistakes that most of us have made about, you know, buying too much motorcycle that you're really never going to use. I hope you see that this bike is really all that you ever need for just day-to-day use on a motorcycle. So anyhow, I want to thank everybody for watching my video again, and if you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button down in the right hand corner. It's a picture of me back in the 1990s racing a hare scrambles on a Suzuki RMX 250. I believe it was back in 1993 is when that race was. But anyhow, if you enjoy my videos, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the like button while you're at it. I want to appreciate everybody for watching my video, and I look forward to getting another video out for you soon.